Previously on part 1. A whole team, 20 players, 36 overall, 18 years old, high franchise potential. The boys went 0-82. Not only did they go 0-82, nobody on the team got a single point.
I feel paralyzed.
We have gotten our very first win as a franchise. All in the mid-60s right now, as an average I would say, all in the mid-60s, and our goaltenders are in the low to mid-70s now. Hey guys, what is going on today? Joe here, and welcome back to part number 2 of our NHL 18 mini franchise mode series, where we brought together an entire team of 36 overall players with high franchise potential, put them all together on one team, and we are simulating through a franchise mode here to see how good they can get together playing as one entire team. So if you guys have missed part number 1, make sure to go into the description of this video and click the link and check out part number 1 if you have not seen that already. Before we begin, make sure you guys hit that like button. I really appreciate it. You guys hit it over 500 times on part number 1. Are you kidding me?
Crazy?
Over 500
Are you out of your
times?
mind?
I mean, let's try to get at least over 300 on part number 2, since we're going to be doing hopefully another 3 more years of simulating. But just to give you guys a little bit of a refresher, let's go check out the team. Okay guys, so here is the team that we are working with. Most of the players have already increased their overalls by 30. A couple of guys are still in the 50s and the low 60s, but we are definitely moving in the right direction. Obviously, I named all of our players appropriate to the lines of which they are playing on. So there's our offense right there. Defense is all right there. Defense is actually looking a lot better than the offense. And then the goaltenders obviously got the biggest boosts, where the backup is already up 40 overalls. And the starter is up by 35? Yep, 35 overall. So the goaltenders are really progressing well. We're looking to see if they can get more than 1 win this year, and we're also looking to see if by year number 6, I believe is what I predicted in the last video, if this team will actually start getting a positive win and loss record. So let's get to simming, and I'll see you guys at the end of year 4. Alright guys, so our year number 4 simulation has ended. The standings, we did better than last year. We got 2 more wins and 2 more overtime losses than we had last year. So we finished off 376-3 for a total of 9 points, which is definitely a lot better than we were the previous year. First line right winger, the power forward, still looking to be the top spot on the point totals. Our plus minuses are now looking to be in the double digits now. There's only a couple guys that have triple digits, it seems. And we almost had every single player on our team get a point. Other than the third line defenseman, everybody on the team got at least a point this year, which is really looking good news for the future of the team. And then if we look at the goaltenders, our backup once again played more games as per usual. As I expected, when he's getting pulled like that, you're going to want to start the backup more often. But our starter did win more games, which is interesting. Save percentages are near the .918 and .905, which are actually not terrible. Goals against average 3 and 4 on the year. That's looking good. If we can get a solid team in front of them, then I think it'll look pretty good. Let's go through all the off-season stuff, and I'll meet you guys at the beginning of year number 5. So guys, at the beginning of year number 5 here, and this is our starting lineup. As you guys can see, we are now in 70 overall territory. As you can see, most of the guys are still considered other forwards, but we are in the 70 overall range now for our forward core, which is awesome to see. It's not going to be much longer before we're getting the high 70s after this year probably, and then the year after that, which would be the beginning of year number 7, I think is when we're going to start to see 80 overall players, and I'm really looking forward to that. But there's the lineup. As you guys can see, the first line is all 72s, a couple 72s, 71, 60s still. The fourth line center is still lacking behind. That grinder is very much lacking, but same thing with the third line right winger as well. Defense is almost all in the 70s, which is awesome. The first pair guy, a little bit lacking. But as for our goalies, we're in 80 overall territory right now.
Oh my God!
Now the backup tendy, I'm going to make that executive switch. A bunch of you guys were letting me know that in the comment section of the last video, to switch your backup and your starting goalie, because it seems like the backup is definitely progressing a lot better than the starter is. So I'm going to enact that change. We're going to swap them. The backup will now start pretty much most of the games, and the starter will be the backup. He's an 81 overall, and he's technically considered a backup goaltender. So we could play him in that backup role, or we could continue to give him the starts, and I think I'm going to give him the starting role, and we're going to see how well this guy progresses. He's in an 81 overall. Athletic category is not great, but his reflexes and his puck control are pretty damn good. He's got the stats in the places that I do think matter. So I'm hoping this guy will be able to steal us some games here, and hopefully this low 70 overall rated team might be able to get enough goals and have that goalie steal us a game or two, and hopefully we get above 9 points this year. So with that being said, let's run through year number 5 now, and I'll see you guys at the end of it. Alright guys, so year number 5 has ended, and the team did better. 7 wins, 72 losses, and 3 overtime losses for a total of 17 points. So they got 6 more points this year than they did the previous year, and they pretty much doubled their win totals. The way I'm looking at it right now is that if this team can continue a trend of like doubling the regulation win total every single year for the next coming years, I think we're going to be in a good spot. So I think the win total to shoot for next year is going to be roughly around 13 to 14 wins. 2 guys over 30 points this year, 33 points for him. First line guy actually got, the center got 15 goals this year, so that's actually the new leading high for goals, which is awesome. Still a bunch of guys here, 23 points. Did everybody get a point? That third line defenseman still didn't get any points. The backup started 69 games once again. He's actually up to an 83 now, which is really, really nice. He's considered a starting goaltender, guys, so we actually have a starting goalie on our squad. Save percentages are right there. Goals against are in the 3s, the high 3s. I'm liking that. One more year, guys. We're going to do one more sim in this video to take it into year number 6. And I will see you guys there. That'll be the last one for part number 2. And then, obviously, we'll do another part after this. So, I'll see you guys at the beginning of year number 6. Okay, guys, so here we are at the beginning of year number 6 with our team. And as expected, most of our players are up near the upper 70s now. Are pretty much like our top 2 lines are in the 77, 76 area, which is awesome to see. I really should be moving these guys a little bit more around, but they are gaining their overalls appropriately to where I am placing them. So I'm going to leave it. As you guys can tell from the roles of most of our offensive players, a lot of them now are technically considered 4th line forwards, which is very good. A couple depth forwards in there, other forwards as well. I think there's like a minor league checking forward in there as well for the enforcer, but most of the guys are technically considered 4th line forwards, which is very, very nice to see. Molding the team into what an AHL team would look like. This is what a really, really above average AHL team might look like if you're playing franchise mode. So I'm glad to see it this way. That's our offense. Our defense, on the other hand, is pretty much like minor league top 2s and top 4s, top 6s. So that's looking good for this squad as well. Once again, they're pretty much an AHL team now, except for the goaltenders, because the backup became the starter and the starter became the backup. 86 overall is this guy. He's a starting goalie, and the other guy is 81. He's a backup. So we have an appropriate goalie tandem right now with an 86 overall as the starter and an 81 overall as the backup tendy. So they are going to play their appropriate roles this year. And honestly, having like an 86 overall goaltender with high 70 overall players, low 70 overall players, a couple 60s in the lineup, that shouldn't mess with anything. Mid 70s for defense. I think this team is going to win a good bit of games this year for sure. We now have an above average AHL lineup for our team going into NHL level games. Let's simulate our last season here. I'll meet you guys at the end of year number 6, and then we'll simulate pass through the off season again, and then we'll see what the team looks like for the beginning of year number 7. So let's get rolling. Okay guys, so year number 6 has indeed ended, and as I mentioned in the previous year, I was hoping that the team would double their win total to get to around 13 or 14 wins. They unfortunately didn't do that. They went 11, 59, and 12 though. They had a ton of extra overtime or shootout loss points, 12 to be exact, which is actually the most in our division. Might be the most in the NHL. No, Vancouver had 15. It's tied for second with a couple of other, with the Carolina Hurricanes for second most in the NHL. So a lot of teams had trouble closing us out. And we actually had the potential to get a lot of extra points on the board. I mean, if you take half of those overtime losses and put them in the win column, then we definitely achieved our goal for sure. But 11, 59, and 12 is still pretty decent, especially for this team that we're working with. And our top point getter had 40 points and 22 goals on the year. So, I mean, that's pretty awesome to see. Was that our top goal scorer as well? Yes, he was. 40 points on the year, 36 points for the second liner. A bunch of guys got 28. A bunch of guys got single digits. Third liner still didn't get any points, so we're still waiting for that year when he's going to get that 1 point, and everybody on the team does indeed get a point. And then for the goaltender stats, our backup actually played more. Oh yeah, obviously our backup is our starter now, and our starter is our backup. It's gonna be weird for me to realize that, but he's up to an 87 now as an elite goaltender. He might just win us games by himself. Our goals against averages were under 3. The only reason I guess we just lose games is because our team just can't score goals. Yeah, this was definitely the best year that we've had, and things are looking extremely bright for this team. So let's go to the beginning of year number 7, take a look at the team, and then we'll close the video out. Okay guys, so here we are at the beginning of year number 7, and this team I think is going to go off in the next video that we do. Look at the first line. 80, 80, 81 overall. They're all considered third line checking line forwards. Obviously their stats still aren't properly in the right spots, but they're definitely getting the boosts which they need. The sniper still has like low 70s for his shot. The playmaker definitely has some good deking and hand-eye, but his passing is still kind of weak. Good defensive category, good physical stuff. Skating is looking pretty good. First line, the power forwards getting some nice stats, but look at their star categories. They're not really going up in the places that I want them to get, but the overall is still going to help the simulation nonetheless. We have 80 right there and 81 on the second, 80 on the third. Still a couple of low 70 overalls, but paired up with some high 70 overalls. So you guys can let me know in the next video as well when we do our final simulation with this offense, because I think it's the offense is the only part I need to touch here. Should I move like the third liner, the left wing third liner up to the second line? Should I start screwing with the names of where I'm technically supposed to play these guys? Should I move them around and place them appropriately to where you think I should? Because maybe I should move this 71 down to the 4th and move this 78 up to the 3rd, or move this guy all the way down to the 4th so that these guys can move up a line. You guys can let me know in the comments section down below if I should start screwing with this offense or continue to leave it as is and, you know, just leave them to do their thing. But offensively, we have some 80s now, high 70s. I think we're going to be able to get some goals on other teams now, hopefully be a lot more competitive. The defense is still looking okay. That 75 in the first pair is still kind of concerning. Once again, should I move him up, which will move him up, move him all the way down to the 3rd. The offensive defenseman is already 80 overall. He's technically considered top 6. A couple of guys are depth defensemen, still minor league top 2. He's actually considered a top 6 because he's defensive. But yeah, that's what our defense looks like. And then look at the goaltending, guys. Get absolutely styled upon. The backup is now 90 overall as an elite goaltender, and the starter is 85 overall, technically considered a starting goaltender. I think our goalie is going to steal us games in the next video. I said it during the last little set of recordings. I'm gonna say it this time. This goalie is going to steal us games. I think we're gonna win games just because our goalie is going to steal things for us. We're basically the Montreal Canadiens right now.
Shots fired! Shots fired!
Anyway, guys, that'll wrap it up for this video here. Let me know for suggestions down below of videos you guys would like to see in the future, and what I should do with this offense and this defense. Should I start screwing with the lineup, moving people up and down, or should I just continue to leave it as it is and continue to go? Because technically these guys are only 24 years old now. We really only have like 3 more years until these guys actually get their potential growth in there. So we only have like 3 more years, like pretty much like 2.5, before these guys are not going to be able to grow anymore. So we have pretty much like 2 or 3 more chances here to win a cup, or actually just get a winning record in general with this team. I think that's the goal, is to just get a winning record. Thank you guys for watching. If you did enjoy, make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe as always. And I'll see you guys for part number 3, which hopefully will probably conclude this mini-series off. Make sure you guys stay tuned for that. If you didn't see part number 1, it's down below. Take it easy, guys. Peace.